The money gone fear became real when Pilar Sanders challenged Deion's 1999 prenup in court. Mike Florio reported for Pro Football Talk in December 2012 that Pilar alleged forgery. Deion's camp fired back that she previously acknowledged the agreement is fair. A Dallas judge upheld the document weeks later. The forgery accusations opened a massive legal gap, since a shattered prenup exposes decades of pre-marriage NFL earnings. The ruling saved Deion's foundational wealth, since family courts routinely tear unprotected athletes apart once the stadium lights shut off. We watched that divorce turn into a legal credibility war, because every retired player understood what was really at stake inside that Dallas courtroom. Generational money. This was not the young Atlanta Falcons version of Deion. We were dealing with the post-playing career media mogul operating during the prime prep academy era. His business ventures, real estate holdings, and public image had expanded far beyond standard football salary checks. Pilar reportedly argued that parts of the agreement had been forged. She claimed she was pressured into signing without proper disclosure of Deion's total assets. The burden of proof landed heavily on the defense, since courts rarely erase celebrity prenups without clear evidence of fundamental unfairness or improper execution. Early rulings ordered Deion to pay over $10,000 monthly for the children. Later reductions brought the figure to $5,500 following custody adjustments. But those child support numbers were just the surface layer of the conflict, while the prenup challenge targeted the core of the financial machine. Deion built his primetime brand around flash, deep Christian faith, and structural control. Seeing him under fluorescent courtroom lighting, arguing over signatures, flattened the mythology. When the judge finally validated the paperwork, noting Pilar had independent legal counsel at the time, the financial battlefield narrowed dramatically. The broader attack on Deion's wealth structure failed, and the ruling immediately became a blueprint for every younger player watching. The message spreading through our group chats was brutal. If your paperwork is clean before the marriage begins, family courts rarely tear your empire apart. The ruling represented legal protection surviving an emotional detonation. Deion represented more than just football to us. He sold success before social media even existed, using custom suits and pure charisma. His public image carried heavy Christian framing, built around disciplined language and family loyalty. When the marriage collapsed publicly, audiences inside that black Christian football subculture reacted emotionally, because divorce stories hit differently there. Some people blamed Pilar. Others blamed the entire celebrity ecosystem. Some viewed the breakup as proof that success cannot protect marriages, once ego and money collide inside the home. We know why the culture around athlete marriages shifted toward legal protection. Michael Jordan's divorce settlement became the permanent ghost haunting every NFL locker room. $168 million left the building because somebody believed love was enough and complex paperwork was disrespectful. Once that massive settlement number hit the culture, athletes stopped treating prenups like awkward rich man demands, and they started treating them like helmets. You do not step onto the field without one, and you definitely do not merge your assets without a shield. When a franchise quarterback like Dak Prescott signs a massive NFL contract today, everybody around him knows the basic math changes instantly. The agent knows it, the lawyers know it, and the fiancé knows it too. If she refuses to sign the document close to the wedding date, some players do not argue at the altar anymore. They walk away because they understand that refusing a standard prenup is not an emotional decision, but a highly strategic one. Before the ceremony, the athlete holds leverage and can cancel the catering. After the vows, every argument has attorneys nearby, carrying a massive dollar amount. Jordan learned that reality the hard way, while the next generation learned it from watching him lose a fortune in real time. A prenup is not about expecting relationship failure. It actually functions as a firewall, refusing to let a failed marriage become a permanent financial execution. When players call off weddings near the ceremony, the public hears cruelty. The athlete's camp hears a warning sign because she refused the prenup. Those are two different worlds. One side sees flowers, guests, dresses, and embarrassment. The other side sees contracts, future earnings, brand equity, and family trusts sitting there unprotected. Day before the wedding, close to the ceremony, that is not the same as saying no 6 months earlier. That is pure pressure. That is crowd noise. That is betting he is too embarrassed to walk away. When players ignore the firewall, the collapse looks exactly like Travis Henry standing in federal court. Henry made NFL money playing for Buffalo, Tennessee, and Denver. He owed $170,000 annually in child support for 9 children. The court system did not care that his carries stopped, and the bills did not pause just because his NFL contracts expired. Children still needed reliable support, so the legal system kept counting the debt. The monthly pressure stacked up relentlessly. Henry later admitted the overwhelming child support burden pushed him directly into a federal cocaine trafficking conspiracy. Federal authorities arrested the former Pro Bowler in 2008 for moving drugs across state lines. He scrambled to finance a life the league stopped subsidizing. He pleaded guilty in 2009. A judge sentenced him to 36 months in federal prison, along with 5 years of probation and a drug treatment program. Financial pressure explains the initial panic, though it never erases the underlying criminal choice. Prosecutors treated the case as a serious trafficking operation. The DEA viewed him as a conspirator rather than a desperate father paying family bills. We see players lose money to bad investments constantly. Henry's case hits differently because $170,000 a year is a luxury salary. That cash vanishes before rent or basic survival even register. The off-field reality chased him harder than any linebacker ever did. The justice system closed the door and stripped his protected athlete image away permanently. He touched the league properly, earned a 1,000-yard season, and still ended up effectively destroyed by calendar due dates. He played in the NFL, made real money, wore real jerseys, and possessed real status. Buffalo drafted him, Tennessee used him, Denver paid him. He built the resume, he had the platform, he owned the name. But status in football tricks people because the check feels permanent, while the physical body remains temporary. One injury, one release, one bad season, or one roster decision changes the entire financial structure overnight. Warren Sapp actually built the defensive firewall, but he still got swallowed by the intense lifestyle momentum that carries over from the active roster days. Sapp earned $82 million playing for Tampa Bay and Oakland. He filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy in April 2012 with $6.7 million in debt. The monthly burn rate looked insane even by retired star standards, since court records showed he owed support obligations to 4 different women simultaneously. One divorce agreement demanded $15,000 monthly in child support and $45,000 in alimony. His total obligations pushed near $75,000 every month. NFL money feels infinite while television broadcasts remain active. Retirement hits, endorsement deals cool off, and the old legal obligations stay frozen in place. Sapp secured television work after football, though media checks do not match prime career defensive tackle contracts at all. Property debt and aggressive creditors drained his accounts simultaneously. Support obligations became the public symbol since $75,000 a month sounds cinematic. The most haunting detail buried in the bankruptcy documents was the loss of his physical championship legacy. Sapp reported that his 2002 Buccaneers Super Bowl ring and his 1991 Miami National Championship ring were both lost, uninsured, and gone. That 2002 Tampa Bay defense was historic, featuring Derek Brooks, John Lynch, and Simeon Rice. Sapp collapsed pockets from the interior inside Monty Kiffin's scheme. We attach sacred mythology to championship jewelry. Losing both rings during a financial collapse felt like the peaks of his football life were evaporating physically. Chaotic downfalls destroy personal organization, and sometimes possessions just disappear inside the wreckage of unpaid bills. But the optics remained brutal. Reports later showed Sapp at a Buccaneers celebration wearing what looked like a Super Bowl ring. The internet panicked, proving fans never treat memorabilia rationally. Sapp's identity remains tied to that Miami program forever. Those early 90s Hurricanes represented intimidation and excess before college programs became sanitized branding operations. Those teams felt dangerous and larger than life. Sapp came out of that environment carrying the exact same energy directly into the NFL. The filing ripped the curtain open, forcing everybody to confront how quickly giant wealth can evaporate once spending and taxes collide simultaneously. Tiki Barber tried to pivot into media to outrun the post-career financial drop, but he detonated his own transition by violating strict network television standards. Barber stepped away from the New York Giants early to build a morning show persona. He left his pregnant wife for a 23-year-old NBC intern in 2010. The reaction inside sports media turned cold fast because morning television sells family trust. Corporate executives hate scandal contamination when viewers drink coffee. NBC reportedly invoked the morals clause in Barber's contract, firing him and erasing roughly $300,000 of annual salary overnight. Television networks protect advertisers first, so when the intern relationship and the pregnant wife headlines merged into a tabloid nightmare, the 6-figure broadcasting job vanished immediately. Barber claimed he could not afford the divorce settlement demands. His lifestyle maintenance and child support hit when his visible income collapsed. The public sympathy vanished completely, since we struggle to support athletes whose financial downfalls stem from highly visible, self-inflicted personal choices. Barber was a talented broadcaster who understood media clearly, though he discovered quickly that television executives panic much faster than NFL team owners ever do. Flirting with a football comeback to generate income sounded desperate rather than triumphant, permanently altering how we viewed his legacy. Older locker room tensions resurfaced, the Giants won a championship without him, and the TV career cracked. Post-athlete transitions remain dangerous when an income stream collapses. The morals clause gave the network a clean exit, leaving Barber trapped in public warfare. During playing careers, the sport itself protects players from total scrutiny because performance dominates headlines. Retirement immediately removes that shield. Suddenly, private life becomes the biggest story available. Barber got trapped exactly there. He had no touchdowns to redirect the conversation, no playoff run, no locker room. Public scandals hit former athletes harder when their second career depends entirely on likability rather than expertise. Coaches survive scandals differently because they can still scheme football. Terrell Owens earned over $80 million across his career for multiple franchises. He ended up in court claiming he had no income. Media coverage revealed he was paying $125,000 a month for his 4 children. The obligation crushes extreme superstar wealth. The financial drain turned into public humiliation in January 2014. Owens secretly married a Texas postal worker named Rachel Snyder in a quiet California ceremony. The marriage started falling apart within 72 hours, and Snyder quickly filed for divorce with a devastating public claim. She alleged the union felt like a financial transaction, claiming Owens wanted to use her good credit to qualify for a $2 million California home loan. Divorce law commentary noted Owens' credit score hovered in the low 500s at the time. He lacked steady income to secure the property himself. Owens was never convicted of any crime here, and the final divorce decree did not award spousal support, but the emotional damage stuck forever. The sports money fantasy assumes 80 million earned means 80 million kept. Real life consists of taxes, agent fees, and massive family obligations stacking up. The status reversal was too sharp to ignore. The Hall of Fame receiver went from dominating NFL cornerbacks to anchoring divorce blogs for credit desperation. Owens was never some anonymous roster guy who caught a few passes and disappeared. He lived inside the diva receiver stereotype while actively feeding it. End zone celebrations, press conference drama, sideline tension, and first ballot talent defined his brand. The whole brand represented confidence with cleats on. The louder the prime, the louder the fall. How many retired black stars build Hall of Fame careers only to get dragged through family court? The system teaches them to read a defense. It leaves them blind to the legal machinery waiting at home. We celebrate the massive signing bonuses on draft day, but we ignore the predatory financial structures. We ignore the aggressive family courts and the irreversible lifestyle traps that swallow these players whole once their careers end. The NFL owners print stars and burn them out fast. One generation keeps lying to the next about how permanent the money actually is. Deion Sanders successfully defended his prenup in Dallas. Pilar Sanders walked away without breaking the foundational wealth structure. The monthly support payments eventually adjusted downward. We will see if the next generation of rookies actually studies the court documents before they sign the marriage licenses.